It is a Friday this morning and you are still watching Sunrise at Sea, and you're just in time for Twitter Jabs Part 2, where we're going to be talking about trending hashtags and actually how different companies or different entities have actually jumped onto this whole thing. I mean, when was the last time you used a hashtag on your Twitter, on your Facebook, on your WhatsApp? Name it. Well, my name is the official Shivan Auma 90. I actually got the official name like from my guest this morning because he told me his name is official Ronald Suna. Well, that is actually his hashtag on Twitter. Good morning, Ronald, and thank you for joining us this morning on Sunrise at Sea.
Thank you so much, Siobhan.
Shivan.
I've been having quite like some issues trying to master your name. It's quite a beautiful name.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad to be here. It's an honor. And a topic like this, of course, really resonates with me, and I'm really excited for what you're going to be discussing and sharing with the people.
Okay, so before we dive into the conversation, Ronald, I need to understand, why did you attach the word official to your Twitter handle username?
Oh, well, I think it started when I was still in my heydays, when I was just like coming out of, high school. Twitter, Facebook, they had verification buttons, and like celebrities could score these verification badges, and I was like, what better way could I as well portray myself as someone maybe who is like a brand or like a celebrity would say. And I'm a man of brand, so started when I was still young. I was like, how about like a username which is just like significant and can stand out? And official Sooner, adding my like official towards my name, it just resonated, and it was just perfect for me to have it as a Twitter handle.
Have you met a man like official Ronald Suna?
Exactly.
Anyway, I'm diving into the conversation. I mean, this morning we're talking hashtag and the hijacking of hashtag and different trends. And of course, this morning we had a discussion on the hashtag. Our main focus was hashtag Osidike. And I told people this morning, just watch Sunrise at Sea. Osidike. Well, Ronald, I need to understand, what is the importance of using hashtags when it comes to social media?
Good question. Hashtags, these are like tags or keywords that are used on a brand. There is always what they call a pound sign or a hash sign, depending whether you're using American English or British English. And these keywords, you just click on them and you follow a train of conversation. Now, the train of conversations I'm talking about, when you click on Twitter, a hashtag, let's say, firstly, I have to let the audience know that there is a section called the trending section. Now, in that trending section, there are lists of topics or conversations that are trending. Now, if at all you are a brand and you want to be, let's say, before the people, you want to be in their face, you want to get attention from them, that trending section enables you to be seen easier, because it's like a count from 1 to 12 depending on the traction in that region. And let's say if at all you have a campaign, let's say we are having this TV show, for it to trend, 1, you can use influencers, 2, you can use any kind of avenue, but that commentary will always like grow your topic and it will be noticed up. So hashtags are important to identify a campaign, they're important to identify a brand, and also they curate conversations. Case scenario, you can have like this is already a topic, and we can have, let's say, hashtag morning sunrise. You understand? So people who want to comment on that topic, they don't have to wait for someone, let's say a brand, to post about it, because they've already understood there is a hashtag for the show. They will just carry on with the conversations, and then of course the social media managers, that's when they interact with the audience. So it is important because it, 1, builds your brand, 2, people can always follow your conversations. So it's like a brand tag towards whatever you're doing.
Is there a particular criteria one has to follow when they're probably coming up with a hashtag? Like, what do you need to put into consideration if you're coming up with a hashtag? If, for example, we have a hashtag called CTV Sunrise, so what would you put into consideration?
So I have a principle of 3. So 1, you identify like what are you marketing as the brand. Now you see that it is CTV at Sunrise. So you include the brand. That's the brand name already. Sunrise, there's so many Sunrises out there. There are newspapers called The Sunrise. There is a show called Sunrise. But what distinguishes the Sunrise of CTV? So you include the brand name. Second of all, you include the topic. You understand? Now, different companies work with different hashtags, like different formalities. So the formality for broadcast media, it could be different from a brand. It could be different from Coca-Cola. It could be different from, let's say, a brewery. It could be different from a newspaper. It could be different from a moment, because these moments sometimes revoke hashtags. Like Osirike we're talking about today in the morning. We don't know how it came about. Sometimes it's just, let's say, a news coverage. You understand? Like a year ago, actually, it feels like, you know, we just came into January, but a year ago there was a news story that broke out, and there was a person who had a very tragic story, but her experience provoked a conversation, and it was called process by process. And everyone said, like, saying process by process. It was not a hashtag, but then it became a keyword mention.
Yes.
So yes, to answer your question, hashtags, to have a right hashtag, look at the brand objectives, include the brand name. If at all you don't have a brand name, include the campaign name. Now, some hashtags are based on the campaign name.
Okay.
You would find a hashtag, let's say, Uganda, even just events, like there is Uganda at 56, that's the independence hashtag. You could find a campaign which is like, let's say, Togwa Musubi, maybe it's about advocacy. You could find a hashtag that is related to, it's just evoked within those media, sorry, those events. It could be an event, it could be a moment, it could be a tagline for a campaign. Yeah.
So among the things that we're actually focusing on this morning, apart from hashtags, is actually trend hijacking, because we have actually seen that a number of companies have actually jumped onto this Osirike thing, including MTN. We had UBA the other day.
Who was your favorite, meanwhile?
Crystal Panda. For me, I just like the song that he put out. I'm in love with that song. But I have done an Osirike challenge of my own, which is wake up and watch sunrise at sea. So for me, that's my favorite. My very own Osirike challenge.
Exactly.
So looking at trend hijacking, do you think it's appropriate that companies or different entities actually jump on these hashtags?
Very important. Like we started off saying that hashtags have trend sections where they see the ranking, you know, topics of the day, the ranking topics in that region or community. And for a brand, what brands really, the most important thing for a brand is to get before you. You understand? How do they get before you? How do they get the attention they need from you? So if at all there is a trending conversation, the best thing, the smartest thing for a brand is to see how best and how safe. Now, those are very important things.
Safe.
Yes. Because not every hashtag or every trending conversation like should be jumped on. Like I just shared with you previously, process by process. When you go back to the originality where it started from, it was quite traumatizing of an experience. I just don't want to bring it to evoke that conversation this morning. It's a Friday. But a brand, if at all like it attaches itself to that kind of a tag, make sure it's not going to be offensive. Because Twitter has different kind of audiences. They have feminists, besides feminists who I don't want to tag here or drag, there are people who are quite sensitive. So you would think it's quite humorous. However, you'll be affecting someone who has had a shared experience from that story. So how are you trend jacking? So you could trend jack when a hashtag is resonating with your brand. Two, when you have a service that can be bought, like that can be understood and appreciated in that manner. Like a scenario, like watch CTV or CDK. You understand? You're just bringing comfort to a person. Like just watch it and watch the dial. Like what we're going to offer you. So as you trend jack, just make sure that safety and sensitivity is considered, not just like going for every topic that is trending.
Well, even as we continue this conversation, and as I continue this conversation with Ronald, I do have a video that I would like you to watch. It's a video that did actually trend on TikTok in regard to the Osirike challenge.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at that particular
let's watch
video. Then we can see how to continue.
Yeah.
This man. Ba esimu ye. We postinge. Jimaleko omuliro. Kweka charger. Continue. Omale Osirike. Photo.
Very interesting. So back to you, Ronald. Actually, in regard to that, don't you think that, or would you say that when different companies or different entities actually jump or actually trend hijack, doesn't that sort of imply lack of creativity and lack of being authentic? Because if you're waiting for someone to come up with a hashtag, then you jump onto it, that probably shows that you can't be creative. What's your take on it?
And I'm a creative and I handle digital comms for brands. And to my understanding, I know what it feels like when you see a trending conversation and you've been planning weeks, you had like weeks of planning for your campaign, and here comes a conversation, and the best way on how to get into that attention is to ride onto it. But to clearly state, attention has no boundaries, you understand? While it is very important for you like to consider, you know what, how creative can I be to push a brand before I wait for a trending conversation? What are you doing in your means, you understand, to be inclusive? Because there are things called inclusivity. So sometimes a brand needs to really trend jack because one, they have to resonate within the community. That localization, that kind of trend jacking, it really puts you out there to the people. It puts you out there in those communities that actually may not have tapped into. So I don't find any, I don't find it like very quite, you know, you're not maybe that creative enough, you're inadequate of, you know, the skill set you have for pushing the brand. I think it is just a question of how best can I even position myself on this hashtag? Because you see a brand which may also use the hashtag, like may trend jack, but then it may not like score its KPIs. Because at the end of the day, we have what they call KPIs.
Yes.
Performance key indicators. Exactly. And these are the things that we brand managers or anyone who is in the business, you look out to. So if at all like you're trend jacking, are you going to get sales out of that? If at all you're trend jacking, are you going to evoke people, your community, to get interested? Because you actually can trend jack. I've seen brands trend jacking, and the hashtag doesn't help them, so they have to boost, which is quite absurd. So just do it safe and smart, but also you don't have to trend jack everything, really.
Yeah, because then you might also end up in hot soup depending on what kind of trend you're hijacking. So you might also want to look out for that. However, Ronald, do you think that every movement or campaign, is it necessary to have a hashtag? For someone watching you this morning and they're probably saying, oh, okay, I have a campaign, but do I really need a hashtag?
We're in a time of social media whereby, like by nature or by design, we have what we call trends. To set a trend, you need a hashtag. You understand?
Yes.
Trends can be sometimes influenced not by, let's say, the moments like Osirike. Sometimes it's the songs. We've had the big boys, you understand?
We've had Tumbiza.
You understand? Yeah, you understand. Tusimbude, and some even actually, they become that creative. People, you're listening to Christo Panda, sorry, and you say that you're listening to him because of the Osirike challenge. So some people actually trend jack and actually they get creative. To answer your question about, is it important for you to have a hashtag on a campaign? Yes, it is very key. Actually, it's one of the essential things you have to, like, by principle, have when you set out a campaign. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be on social media and tracking it, because there's what they call impressions and the views, like from the audience interactions. There are tools that we can use always on social media to track how has my campaign performed. So for you to get that analytics, for you to get that kind of insight and information, it always has to be mined by keyword mentions and hashtags. So what better way for you to make your work smooth and add a hashtag to it?
Well, every coin has two sides to it. So I'm thinking, doesn't having promoting or having a hashtag on your campaign have a downside to it? Is there a downside actually associated with hashtags in social media?
Yes. Hashtags that are, one, insensitive, hashtags that are not resonating with people. So it is out there that some campaigns actually have been dragged, you understand? Because maybe people didn't resonate with the brand. Maybe they felt they were like pushing a certain agenda that, you know, was against them. We've had, you know, I think the question is not about why do should every campaign have a hashtag? I think we have to look at, do you have to come out as like you're pushing or promoting? You can actually promote a brand or promote a topic without having a hashtag. And at the end of the day, you'll be noticed. So the hashtag part is salesy. You have to understand that when people see a hashtag, they know that you're selling to them something. Case scenario, politicians, if at all like you're really zeroing down on a hashtag, it's better if at all maybe you're driving, let's say, a debate around something. But let's say case scenario, if at all like a politician is trying to like do some stuff in his community, And let's say they use hashtags that are, you know, quite salesy, because people will find you like self-promotion. You're trying to, you know, promote yourself rather than actually giving back. So at the end of the day, we are seeing, yes, you're using a hashtag for selfish interests. So not everything or every activity deserves a hashtag.
Okay, finally, your last remarks on this particular issue.
Yeah, I think brands are really quite exciting. I like the fact that they are all like riding and trend jacking to topics like this. I like the fact that they are playing, some of them are playing safe. I like the fact that people are getting creative, you know, with songs and music. And the numbers are really growing on social. Like Twitter now, I think we are ranking 400,000. Facebook, we have about like 3.2 million active users. And the best way is, how can we make better campaigns? How can people utilize social media the best way to their advantage? Because it's now a world of social currency. How many numbers do you have on your account? How many numbers does you know, Shavan have? Like, you know, because we are people who are into the brand management. We shall reach out to you because maybe we want to give you endorsements. So people have to understand that in the wake of social media, the hashtags and all that we've just talked about, there is business, and you can make money off social media. So as you sit there on your phone, as you interact with these campaigns, make sure actually they are taking all your attention and they're making money off you. You understand? But what are you doing to yourself to make the best advantage of such moments?
Okay. Now, the official Ronald Suna, for the silent majority, we would like to know, what was your greatest trend between the year, of course now we've just spent a few weeks into 2022. So yes, quarter of 2022 and then 2021, what was your greatest trend for you? The one that you would say spoke to you and something you actually jumped onto?
We were living in unprecedented times, and we had COVID-19. And to me, the best campaign was a time when government was telling people to wear their masks. And we had the likes of the Bad Blacks, you know, coming out, which was quite a good call to see government looking into such influential figures. So it is just, for me, my credit is towards how government has used social media during the time of, let's say, vaccination, during the time of COVID-19, to make sure that maybe the message is out there. Wear your mask, Toji Jako. So there was so many quite good moments. They are not that witty, but they were very like intentional, driving the call for people to wear their masks. MTN did that amazing wear your mask with the emoji on and stuff like that from 2020. And those are my favorite. But of course, there are those other witty ones which were quite funny. I don't have so many off head, but there was Tusimbu Day, there was the Big Boys recently. So there are those witty ones which are quite fun. But to me, I give all the credit to governments on how they have been trying to see that they are going to get people vaccinated, really.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. And this morning I have been with the official Ronald Suna. You can also call him the bad boy, the big bad boy. I do not know. But anyway, up next is Sandra Kopp, and she's going to be having a discussion on viral infections in children. So you do not want to miss that. We have an amazing lineup coming for you. Don't blink.